more, let's bring in GOPAC Chairman David Avella. David is here on set with us in Milwaukee. How do you win tonight? How do you stand down?
Dagen, winners lead, losers complain. Americans aren't looking for a complainer-in-chief. The candidate who comes in tonight and can present in a positive way their ideas, particularly on the economic issues, which is what tonight's debate's going to focus on. It's kind of one of the underreported stories. Every one of these candidates have really good tax plans. And hopefully tonight we're going to have a deep discussion on those. And it's going to be pretty exciting. No,
but you saw the back and forth, all of the dirt slinging that's still going on. You know that's going to come up. And quite frankly, in some of the last debates, these candidates stood out because they were able to deflect the attacks of a Donald Trump with Carly Fiorina a couple of debates ago, with Marco Rubio and Jeb Bush. That was what helped them to win, was being able to kind of throw back the
You bring up an excellent point, that those candidates, look, we're in the phase now of the campaign where candidates are going to try to distinguish themselves from one another. They're going to try to show their differences. Those candidates that can take a perceived weakness and turn it into a strength. You saw Senator Rubio do that last debate when Governor Bush attacked him. Those are the ones who come out the winners in these debates. But the key here is to remember, this is one debate. The nomination isn't going to get decided tonight. And it's the next phase, a very important phase tonight, but there's still 3 months to go.
Well, but Moneybags over here can tell you that it does help fundraising.
Oh, absolutely.
Pointing at you.
Yeah, I thought that. I was really trying to dodge that. I was hoping it was going to hit Scott in the eyes with that one. I want to ask David a question about, is this going the way you thought it was going to go?
No.
Okay, so where did you think it was going to be, and where is it today relative to where you thought it was going to be?
Is it where I think it was going to be? No. I think it's going to still end up where our primaries have always ended up. It's not going to be one of the outsiders. We haven't nominated an outsider since 1940. It's going to be someone with government experience. It's going to be someone that has a track record that Republicans can use to decide and distinguish rhetoric versus reality. And those who actually have a plan that fall within the GOP principles and have government experience to show they can get something done, that's who's going to be our nominee.
Why do you think that we haven't gotten there yet? Why hasn't then that bubble popped, the outsider bubble popped?
Because we love talking about it, and certainly the major donors like to focus on candidates, but the folks in New Hampshire are just starting to focus on this race.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because in New Hampshire, they'll make that decision within, 4, 5, 6 days. Historically, they have not made up the decision. That's why, as we have people over the House, we've talked about it for a couple of days now, everyone's saying, oh, I love that person, I love this person, I love this person. It changes every time a new person comes in. And also, it's interesting you say you don't think it's going to be an outsider. I didn't think so, but I'm not quite sure at this point. I think it may be a combination approach. If you have an outsider, you're probably going to have an insider as a vice president to go and actually do the work that needs to be done in the hallways to bring people together. So it has been a fascinating situation. I thought what happened last night with Marco going after Trump and vice versa is just the beginning. And I think Marco...
Beginning of what?
Well, Marco hit a nerve, I think, in that I can tell you so many people, friends included, who were living credit card to credit card, paycheck to paycheck because of this economy that this president and the Democrats have put forth prior to the Senate being taken over by, obviously, the Republicans, the lack of getting things done and the lack of actually addressing the concerns of everyday people. And Marco represents that. He started from nothing, living on credit card to credit card.
But it could go the other way, because do Americans hold their presidential candidates to a different standard than themselves?
These are regular folks. Marco's a regular guy who's one of the hardest working people I know.
Let's go off of what Dagen's saying there for a second, though. You think the American people just want a regular guy?
They want a regular guy
and a regular guy in the Oval Office.
No one's going to be perfect. There's not any candidate is perfect out there, but you want somebody who can basically do the job.
Trump is anything but a regular guy.
Well, yeah, but he's the exception.
What voters want is someone who can actually get results. We've had, for those of us on the Republican and conservative side, it's been a rough 7 years. Not a lot of victories. They want someone who's going to be able to show they can actually get results.
I want to bid at auction for Trump to write my high schooler's tweets just for 1 week, just to see what comes out of that thing for my son. It's unbelievable the way the guy fits all that stuff into those 140 characters.
I spoke to him a couple of about a month ago, and I said, who does all your tweeting, and how do you deal with the back and forth? He says, I do it myself. I said, what do you mean you do it yourself? He said, I just speak from my gut and I do it myself. Listen, I appreciate that, but that also comes with some pitfalls.
But I'll point out that, and we're going to talk about this later, that Trump actually has an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal today about China's currency manipulation, and he goes into more than just the currency problem with China, but he gets into some very specific things. I will designate from day one, if I'm elected, China as a currency manipulator. I will crack down on the theft of intellectual property. He goes into some pretty serious detail here. So
those are important issues, and if you look at what we've done, don't forget the United States has used every tool in the toolbox to get its economy moving, and then China is going to do whatever it needs to do to get its economy moving, because it is, as of yesterday, aside from Canada, our #1 trading partner now. So everyone's playing the games to try to keep their economies moving because it's flat.
Sum up tonight.
That's an easier thing to say until you're sitting in the Oval Office and you're faced with all the security threats from North Korea, and you've got to deal with China on a number of different levels, not just the economics.
But this is the primary season, and you're going to have people. I mean, you have people promising tax cuts that might not ever get through a Congress, but you still at least have an idea of where you want to take the country. Final word. You get one word. What do you? One word to sum up what's going to happen tonight.
Good luck.
Show competence. I needed 2 words.
Show competence.
Show competence.
Okay, David, it was great to see you.
Thank
you so much.
Thank you.